Patience. The QR code will be in the presentation. Just we haven't even started yet, folks. Relax. We'll get there. David, yes. 2 sessions.
All right, we're live.
All right.
It's all you, man.
Ready to start. Sweet. Okay, I'm going to move these chats out of the way. Welcome, everybody, to boot camp. Glad you guys could all join us today. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Let's see. So we'll iterate, and the boot camp will get better each time. We're going to cover the basics, and the next lesson is more advanced topics. The goal here is to help you up your LP game. Just like any other game, you need to learn the rules first. So we're going to start with teaching you that. And you know, just because you know the rules and can play doesn't mean that you'll win. Ultimately, we hope you learn and implement strategies that'll help you to win. So we'll start with a disclaimer here. The content in this presentation and throughout this course is for informational purposes only. The information herein should not be construed as financial advice. The instructors are not financial professionals, and any investments or positions you open, you do so at your own risk. Any funds you invest should be funds you are willing to lose. By entering this course, you agree to these terms, assume all responsibility, and agree to hold Meteora and instructors harmless for any loss of funds. Do not continue with this course or presentation if you do not agree to these terms. So we get that out of the way. Let's see here. Next. So the prerequisites here, you need to agree to all that: a Web3 wallet, app, or browser extension that supports Solana, a wallet funded with one soul. Be prepared to lose before you win. You know, you start small. It doesn't take a lot to get started with this. Be prepared to lose. You're encouraged to lose because that's how you learn. You know, a lot of great lessons come out of failure. Consider these losses to be the tuition you pay for your training, if you will. If you win, don't go in all in yet. You might have just got lucky. Wait until you've lost and then learn from it. When you're consistently winning, then you can progressively increase your investment sizes. So don't YOLO just yet. So introduction, I am Heavy Metal Cook. And let's see, this skipped over. There we go. This is me. And first, I want to thanks out to Ben Chow and the rest of the Meteora team. We have several other instructors on today. Big thanks to Orion, our LP instructor mod, the giver of roles, and the creator of forums. And he's just a daily promoter every day of MET, Geek Lad, and Otto. Thank you for a lot of the work of the creation of much of this content. And we have other instructors on here to answer some questions in the Q&A. Yusuf, Mario, I'm not sure how much is in there. But about me, I'm all into heavy metal cooking of all kinds, bake, barbecue, you name it. I'm a cook. I love weightlifting. Get into that every day. And of course, I love crypto. My day job is I'm a manager of an IT operations team at a major retail company. I've done many things in my life, from auto mechanic to land surveyor to building maintenance tech to laptop repair technician and so on and so forth. Lot of experience there. So things I volunteer in, obviously, a mod in our Discord. So I love helping out there. I'm the volunteer. I volunteer as the head of a youth organization's fundraiser. Um, and For an American high school football team, I do stats, I run camera and do color commentary sometimes. And I am a ham radio operator, aka amateur radio operator. I'm one of these type of people that can't sit still, always busy. Mined ETH way back in the day, and I LP'd on Ethereum and Avalanche, Trader Joe, and all that before I got into Sol. I started with platforms such as Radium and Orca before I discovered Meteora, and this is where I found my love. Run workers for IO, Cusco, or do mining, that kind of thing. And I've been with Meteora since about January of 2024. So that's enough about me. Um, let's get into the cool stuff here. So here's how you're going to get the most out of boot camp. Use the Q&A feature in Zoom. This is for you, and we want to answer all your questions live. There will be there's other instructors here to answer some of these questions. So here we go. You want to complete all the exercises. There will be some towards the end of what I'm doing today. You want to follow along. And it just, we learn by doing, right? So follow along there. You can follow up in Discord. If you have suggestions on how we can improve this, share it with us in the Discord. You know, if there's something we didn't cover, let us know. We'll try to incorporate it if we can, if it makes sense. So there's always that. We have a great community out there on the Discord, one of the best in Solana. So by the end of today, you will know how to provide liquidity on a dynamic pool, deposit into a stable DLMM pool, and deposit into a volatile DLMM pool. And of course, understand key terms of LPing and what have you. So we're going to start with the terminology. This, is not the exciting part, but it's important. You need to know the words used in the game before you can learn the rules. And I understand many of you may already know them, but we're gonna come in anyway. So things will get more interesting as we go. So moving on, liquidity and market making. Definition of liquidity: a liquid asset is typically used to refer to an asset that can be easily and freely exchanged for cash. Liquidity refers to the availability of liquid assets and how easily that asset can be exchanged for money. An example of a liquid asset that you are likely familiar with is stocks. Cryptocurrency is also a liquid asset. I think we should all know that one now. Definition of a market maker. Um, a firm or individual actually actively provides two-sided markets in a particular security by providing bids and offers, known as asks, along with the market size of each. Market makers provide liquidity and depth to markets and profit the difference in the bid-ask spread. Examples of traditional financial markets are stock markets, bond markets, community exchanges, currency exchanges, derivative markets, and so on. Market makers typically work on electronic market systems with a bid-ask order books. They make money on the bid-ask spread. This spread is usually very small, so they make money on very high volumes. They do this using high-frequency trading. Like Coinbase, Kraken, that's a good example in the crypto area there. Market makers typically have huge amounts of cash and assets that they both buy and sell on the orders of billions of USD worth. And obviously it's a huge barrier to become to entry, to become a market maker. Obviously you've got to have huge backing there. So market making on the blockchain is where we get into DeFi. An AMM stands for Automated Market Maker, and how most market making happens on blockchains. LP can stand for a few different things in the world of market making: liquidity provider, liquidity pool, providing liquidity, like it's a verb. So AMMs are DeFi, or decentralized finance, that allow anyone to become a market maker on the blockchain. That's you. Instead of making profits from bid-ask spreads as done in TradFi, liquidity providers and AMMs profit from earning fees on the liquidity they provide in liquidity pools. That's the game. There are many different AMM protocols on different blockchains: Ethereum and other chains, Uniswap, SushiSwap, PancakeSwap, Trader Joe, so on. Solana has Meteora, Orca, Radium, Saber, and some others. So yeah. In DeFi, AMM refers to the protocol and platform where the market making is taking place. Liquidity provider, or LP, refers to the person or firm that is providing liquidity through the AMM. When traders swap through AMMs, they pay fees to the liquidity providers. This is all managed automatically by smart contracts on the blockchain. It is not custodial. It can also stand for LP, can also stand for liquidity pool. You'll see the term LPing, which means to provide liquidity, and I think we all know this. So, excuse me. Next slide. Treat market making like a business. LP is not staking. You are not staking anything when you put money in. LPing is not trading in the traditional sense. Yes, you are usually trading one token for another. That's kind of obvious, but it's not traditional trading where you're hopefully buying low and selling high, or if you make the mistake of buying high and selling low. You treat LPing like a high volume, low margin business. Your assets are inventory and you earn profit with high inventory turnover. High demand assets have a lot of volume and can help to achieve your profit. If you're LPing into very new meme coins, treat it like holding inventory in a produce business. So like you've got the grocery store or farmer's market, whatever, it's going to go bad, right? So, and the demand and volume for it can drop very quickly. So some memes are a lot like produce, and you don't want to be holding them when they go rotten. So you want to get those moved over. But sometimes assets can be a long-term play. They may be lower in volume, but they're more consistent and more resistant to dumping. Your project coins, or you can like memes that don't die for some reason. There's all kinds of other examples, but always be careful with your memes. So TradFi versus DeFi markets. TradFi uses the bid-ask order books. DeFi uses AMMs with liquidity pools and others. DeFi has open order books as well, such as Phoenix and OpenBook. Meteora does not use order books. TradFi markets such as stock markets, bond markets, community markets, and so on use order books with bid and asks. Market makers place buy and sell orders with their order sizes and prices, and market makers, takers, fulfill orders by accepting the offered bid-ask prices. With AMMs, there is no order book. Market makers provide both assets in a liquidity pool, and the price is determined by the ratio of each asset. When swaps through the pool take place, the asset the trader is selling goes into the pool, and the asset they're buying comes out. Real simple. So that's kind of where you're trading. This causes the ratio of the assets in the pool to change and changes the price of the assets in the pool. The mix of assets changing into the pool is called impermanent or divergent loss, which we will discuss now. So the definition, you're putting two assets into a pool where they will be swapped in and out. In a two-sided position, the likelihood of getting exactly the same tokens out that you put in is very slim. So getting that right back in the middle where you started, that's very hard. It's possible, but very rare. To be profitable, your fees must exceed your divergent loss or impermanent loss. So when you provide liquidity, traders are swapping both of your assets back and forth through the liquidity pool. When that happens, the price changes and it changes the allocation of your assets, the two tokens, within the pool. It means you'll have more of one and less of the other. This is also often referred to as an impermanent loss, although it's actually divergent loss. That means that the divergence in the price of the underlying assets, you'll lose some of one of the two tokens. But in that process, you will gain some of the other. Divergent loss is like versus just holding the tokens, like if you didn't LP at all. The goal here is of doing LP successfully is to generate enough fees to overcome your divergent loss and impermanent loss. If you're able to close a position and end up with more of both than you started with, then you win. Impermanent loss is more when all of one token sold for the other, and so now the price is up or down of the other. It's impermanent because you can just sit there and wait for the price to come back, right? And if it comes back and it gets you close to the middle and you pull out, then you're closer to where you started, and that's great. Turning impermanent loss into permanent loss can be when you've made impermanent loss, all of one token sold for the other, and you pull out. Well, now you just turn that into permanent loss. Sometimes that doesn't matter depending on the two tokens, but we can get into that more probably tomorrow. So here's an example of divergent loss. Started at a price of 170 USDC per SOL with about 0.25 SOL and 40 USDC. Ended at a price of about 171 USDC SOL with about 0.19 SOL and 49 USDC. The net change in total value, including fees, was about 30 cents USDC. In this case, the divergent loss was a gain in USDC. So this position lost 0.056148 SOL and it gained 9.57 USDC. The fees earned are 0.06. The initial value 81.6 USDC, ending value 81.84 USDC. So you have a divergence of plus 24 cents USDC. So your total profit of fees and divergence is 30 cents. You can Google that to get more info on divergent loss. So now we're going to talk about a CLMM, concentrated liquidity market maker. Your traditional AMMs they're capital inefficient because only a small amount of the capital forms the entire pool or is within range. CLMs are more capital efficient, helping liquidity providers earn more fees and traders experience lower price impact. So like a AMM, like if you've ever been on Uniswap, or any of those others like that, I mean, Meteora has one too, but like Orica, Radium, whatever. So all your liquidity is spread out. We're going to get more into that in the next slide. But the result of this means that the fees being generated are relatively small to your total capital because it's all spread out and amongst the entire range. So a CLM allows you to concentrate that, and it helps you to earn more fees by specifying the price range in which you put all of your liquidity. And it also helps traders because it reduces the price impact of their trades on liquidity pools. So here's just some examples here of a standard AMM. You can see the standard AMM is inefficient because most of the swaps tend to take place near the current price. Like right here, you've got all this liquidity out here on the edges from 0 to infinity that are, it's not doing anything for you. In your CLM, you're able to concentrate that. So you can see here, there's a little bit of liquidity sitting out on the outside edges, but where it's trading right here between 30 and 35 in this particular example, you can see most of the liquidity is here. So that's where the swaps are happening. You're focusing your money. That's where you're getting the most fees and so on. Next slide. Come on. There we go. So slippage, price impact. Any difference in the price from the time you submit your transaction versus what the price actually was when your transaction was executed on the blockchain, that difference is slippage. You may experience that when just doing swaps on Jupiter. Price impact is the effect your swap will have on the price depending on the market depth. Solana is a busy place. There are thousands of transactions taking place every second. So when you click that button to swap through an AMMM, by the time you click that button, your request is received by a blockchain validator, processed, and the price may be different than whenever you click the button. That's your slippage. When you swap through an AMMM, you're causing the mix of the assets in the pool to shift and the price of the asset to change. The amount of liquidity in the pool is high relative to your swap, then your swap will have little price impact. If you swap through a small pool that does not have a lot of liquidity relative to your swap will have a high price impact and cause the price to change a whole lot more. So TVL, total value locked. US dollar value of the assets within a pool, protocol, blockchain at any given moment at a time. So now we're going to talk about measuring the pool yield, the 24-hour fee, and you'll see this whenever we get into this. You've probably already seen it. That's the yield for the pool, calculating the fees generated in the past 24 hours divided by the total value locked. This can be overstated and understated. You take this with a grain of salt. This might be a factor in helping you determine what pool you want to choose, but it's constantly changing. As liquidity providers enter and exit the pool, it can have a drastic impact on this. While the denominator there is changing all the time, the value of the fees in the past 24 hours, that doesn't change. So it could be overvalued or understated, like say a whale entered the pool, that can cause that to come down, or whenever they exit, it can shoot way up. It could be, 999 if enough was taken out. Generally, the more liquidity, the more fees are going to get generated because they're going to get more of the swaps. if you see the TVL after a whale that's exited the pool within the past 24 hours, that TVL is going to be overstated. If you enter the pool expecting that rate, you are going to be sad and disappointed there. If they've just entered the pool, the TVL will be higher than it was before they entered. The fees generated in the past 24 hours were done with less TVL, and so now it looks like as though the pool is yielding less because of the higher TVL. So you had a pool with just a few $1,000s in it, and some whale comes in and drops in 100K. It's going to make that go way down. That doesn't mean that it's a bad pool. It's just so take this number with a grain of salt. So now basics, LPing on Meteora. Before we get into that, we're going to talk about the Meteora 10% LP stimulus plan, the point system, if you will. All liquidity earns points at these rates. 1 point per 1 USDC value of TVL per day, and then 1,000 points per $1 of fees earned per day. You're not going to earn any points in putting in vaults. It's just in the dynamic pools, the DLMM, and multi-token pools. And no, there is no official points checker. There's some community tools that can give you some estimates on the DLMM, but not dynamic pools. But rest assured, everything is being counted on the back end. No, there's no date set for the end of this. There is no date set for the airdrop. There is no date set for the TGE. So asking won't help. All right. So the definition of the DLMM, a dynamic liquidity market maker, is a concentrated liquidity market making protocol based off of Trader Joe's liquidity book. So that's where you might have seen this before. I used it out there, and I didn't like Trader Joe's version of this, but it's like other CLMMs. It just has some additional features and enhancements. I'll demo some of these live here in a bit, but your additional features: zero slippage and price impact within bins. And if you look there on the screen, each one of those little lines is a bin where liquidity is stored. You can implement different strategies and curves, so you can curve your liquidity and shape it in a way to maximize fee generation. You can deposit just one token, so single-sided liquidity deployment, a common tactic used with crazy meme coins that other guys, Yusef and Mario, will probably talk about tomorrow more. Dynamic fees. So dynamic fees, well, I'm going to get into that here in a minute, but and you just have more flexibility with the DLMM. So here's how it works. You've got your base fee, which is, so right there, that's the base fee that the person doing the swap is charged to swap within that, through that pool. You've got your bin step, and the bin step means, so that is how much price change there is from bin to bin. So let's say, for example, one bin step, it's very small. The difference in the price within that bin is very, very small. Like, so a hypothetical example would say it's 1.0 to 1.1. And then say a 75 bin step, that price difference may be 1.0 to 1.75. So we'll get into more about the bin steps, but that's just like how wide the bin is for each one.
Yeah, I can help expand on that a little bit further. So the bin step is actually the number of basis points there is between bins, and 1 basis point um is like a percent of a percent, right? So 0.0001, so 3 zeros and then a one.
Yeah.
That's how much 1 basis point is. So in this particular example, bin step is 16, so that's 16 basis points. So if you had a price of one as the current bin, the next bin up would be 1.0016. So it's 16 basis points.
Yeah. That's a great explanation. Thank you, Keith. The max fee, that's the maximum fee that could ever be charged. It's always 10. The protocol fee, this is something that it's for almost every pool you're ever going to see, it's going to be 0. This is only implemented, I think, on alpha vaults for like token launches. That is a fee that Meteora actually takes. And we could get more into that some other time, but almost every pool you're ever going to see is going to be 0 and remain at 0. The dynamic fee, this is where the party is, guys. So this is something that changes on the fly, and you can see in the example, it's 0.01158, blah, blah, blah. This can go all the way up to 10, and that's where that max fee, it gets at 10. But your dynamic fee, what makes it change depends on the volatility within the pool at that particular month. So if there's a lot of trading happening, that dynamic fee is going to go up. And this helps you, the liquidity provider, make more fees to offset your divergence and impermanent loss. It's what's helping it make it more worthwhile and more profitable for you, because I don't know about you guys, but I don't provide liquidity to be nice. I'm not here to do that. I'm here to make money. The 24-hour fee, that's what you're going to see. So whenever you look at this, that's how much money it's made in fees in the last 24 hours. Okay, so here we go, the costs for doing this. So whenever you open a new position, you're depositing in the DLMM, you'll need to pay position rent, which is refundable. It's about 0.5 Sol. That rent, that's rent on the blockchain. The DLMM is all on the blockchain. That's where it all exists. So you get that money back whenever you close your position. It's something that must exist. Now, if you are creating or putting liquidity where nobody has ever put liquidity before, like say really high or really low from where the price started, it's possible that it'll have to generate a new bin array. It's basically creating bins where they have never existed before. That's rent on the blockchain, and that's not refundable because bins can't be destroyed. They must remain, and so that's 0.07 Sol per bin array. It's not per bin. How big a bin array, that's impacted by bin step and some of these things. So quite commonly, if you were creating a new pool, you go 69 bins, it's probably going to be about two bin arrays. And like I said, you can't get that money back. Obviously, there's a transaction fee. Some might call that gas. Very minimal. Thank you, Solana. I'm not going to get into creating pools today, but there's fees all there. So now we're going to talk about our strategies. This is where the DLMM is so awesome. Spot provides uniform distribution. It's versatile. It's risk adjusted. It works for just any kind of market, really. It's basically like setting a CLMM price range. Your curve is ideal for a concentrated approach that aims to maximize your capital efficiency. So this is great for stables or pairs where the price doesn't change very often, where it's not moving a lot. You're focusing more of your liquidity into a single spot. And I've seen people do it even like 3 bins, which is crazy. But if that price isn't moving too much far from there, you're focusing your liquidity there, and that's where you're making the fat bank. Bid ask, the inverse curve distribution, it's typically deployed single-sided, though I have employed it in both ways. For a DCA in or out strategy, it can be used to capture volatility, especially when prices vastly move out of the typical range. Okay, so here's your stacking strategies, just some common ones you can see here within the red area. You've got this is where someone believes that the price is sticking, or that's where they have observed it to stick. You can put in this curve, but they've also got some liquidity out here on the edges to capture any wild swings. The double dip shark wave. I don't know who made this, but this is some wild stuff. And the curves in it, this is actually from old because it used to actually show this kind of curve, and now it's more straight lines. But yeah, there's some wild ass stuff there. And yes, we will show within the platform itself. Here's one that I've got on a little wallet here that I did, and this kind of started out single-sided with Sol, and as I got some more ore, I started putting that ore in from the fees that I got. I started putting into a bid ask because I want to sell that ore at a higher price. So this is just something I did. I mean, I've gotten all kinds of crazy shapes and things, and when you look at it, you're like, you might even scratch your head, like, what the hell is that? But there's a lot of different things you can do here. The DLMM, the price range is here. So the default is 69 bins. And whatever price range that covers is going to depend on bin step. But as you can see here, like this first one, they've started out with 50 bins, and this is what they've chosen. They put it in a curve here, and you can see the difference in the price here. Now this one is kind of wild, 435 bins. So you can, whenever you're creating your position, making your deposit, you can have more than the 69 bins. And you do that by setting your price ranges here at the minimum and the maximum. And it'll tell you however many bins that it's going to be. You can't set the bin number yourself, but you set these two numbers and it's going to go create what that actually will do. If you look there at the bottom, it says Sol needed to create 7 positions. So that's going to create 7 positions, and they won't all look like this. It gets really complicated. But it's possible. Within here, this will get demoed. I'll show you guys this live, but you have several pool charts, things that, you've got your pick from. You actually access this from the pool itself. My personal favorite is Dex Tools, but it's whatever works for you. There's pros and cons to each one and every one of them. And here's just a list of some tools that a lot of these you'll find actually within the DLMM. Sonar Watch, that is a super cool one. I'll probably try and demo some of that later because we're doing great on time here. Dead, I am dead. Those you don't know, you can join the Dead community. It's a fractured NFT that have been created. There's a whole community within the Discord. I welcome you to join the dead. And you go to that website and there's a lot of tools for Meteora links and all kinds of great stuff there. So get into this. But I did want to talk about Solscan here, and I'll demo this here in a bit. Solscan is, there's many different places to use to look at your transactions. Solscan is kind of the default at the top. Solana Beach, whatever you want to use, that's fine. I'm just showing you this. There at the top, you put in your wallet address, and then you're going to get a page here that shows DeFi activity, or it's got several tabs. What I'm talking about today is the DeFi activities tab. It's kind of new. I love it, and here's why. Because it will show you in an easier read to format all the positions, the times whenever you removed a liquidity, added liquidity. So whenever you're searching for, okay, I need to submit my P&L, or I want to see what I did, or did I take this out, or where is this pool? This information is really going to be helpful to you, in my opinion. So next, I'm going to pause here for a minute. Become an LP Army private. This is why we're here. Well, obviously, and to learn, but take a minute, scan that QR code to confirm your participation in today's session. You fill out that form and you will get the Bootcamp trainee Discord phone role. Ryan, if you can put a post in the comments for those who are on the phone, if you can link that, that would be great. You complete the graduation requirements in tomorrow's session to get the LP Army Private. Obviously, there's a lot of roles within our Discord server, such as I Am Dead. Just go to the dead channels in there and learn more about that there and talk to the cool, fun people who are dead. So I'm going to just leave that up there for another minute. Have a sip of a coffee. That is awesome. And no, I'm not drinking whiskey yet. That's for jam sessions.
Don't drink an LP.
Yeah, don't drink an LP. I mean, unless you want to lose. All right. Moving on. So we're going to jump into a USDC-USDT dynamic pool. Let me get the correct share going on here. Just a second. Here we go. I swear I know what I'm doing. Hmm. Okay, do you guys see the Chrome browser there? Or are you still looking at the presentation?
Yep,
All right.
looks good.
All right, sweet. Okay. So here, just Meteora app.meteora.ag, pools. We're going to go in here. We're going to find this one. And if anyone's curious, that pool created by Meteora. Not all of them are like, but so awesome. Let's get in here to USDC and USDT. All right, so we see here our TVL, $7 million. and I've got my wallet here funded with 2 Sols, so I need to get some money in here. Well, I can't deposit my Sol. We've got our handy dandy Jupiter swap here. So let's Sol, and I'm gonna put in just a tiny bit for our demonstration purposes. We'll do my swap right there. Confirm. Approve. Don't do that to me. I'm gonna get some USDC.
Yeah, that Jupiter terminal built into the Meteora app is really nice, built into the Meteora site.
Yeah, it is. It's
Very
really
convenient.
very convenient. Okay, why did Backpack do that? Okay. I'm more of a phantom user, but Backpack has this handy thing where we can show this on the side. So there we are. Uh, Within dynamic pools, it's highly recommended that you do balance deposit. If you don't, it's going to cry at you. Risk that you can lose. Um, so a balanced deposit is and why this is balanced, don't ask me, I don't know. But just looking here at here's your 24-hour volume. This is how much volume there has been in the last 24 hours. The fact that it exceeds the TVL, that's a good thing. If the volume did not exceed the TVL, that's less good. The yield, 24-hour fee, your liquidity provider fee, that's what you're getting. Protocol fee, that's what Meteora is getting, which you can see is 0. So we make our deposit here, and I hope you guys are all following along here, doing this with me. This is the part I should have said that earlier. We make our deposit. And we're in. You actually can swap directly within this here, the pool itself. So this is like doing a swap with myself or with the pool itself, and I will actually earn fees off of this little trade. I do that all the time. But here we are depositing. Don't do that.
Yeah, typically with pools like this that have a lot of depth, probably not a big deal to do a swap within Meteora. But if you're dealing with a shallow pool, there could be pretty high price impact. So
Yeah.
sometimes it might be better to just swap through Jupiter instead of doing it directly through Meteora.
Yeah. So now you can see here in my wallet, I've got this Meteora LP token. You're only going to get an LP token whenever you're dealing with uh, dynamic pools. The DLMM does not provide an LP token. You don't want to lose that thing. If you lose it, you'll never get your money back out. Um, Locking permanently, that's how you burn it. We're not going to talk about that today, but that's a thing. But that's how you ensure that you never see that money again. You only get the fees off of it. So that's basically it. You can see here on the links for Bird Eye, Gecko Terminal, Dex Screener, and Dex Tools. I'm not going to talk about these trading platforms, but if you click on this, it's going to take you straight to the chart for this very specific pool right here. You can see it's a lot of sideways chop with this one. Um, I love Dex Tools because I can use this to find their pools quite easily. But here's the pair. This also gives you a link back, but that's some of the links there. So give a minute here. Anybody, I don't know if I haven't really been able to look at the questions here. So there isn't a such thing as out of range here. I think Hugo's giving you an answer, but in a dynamic pool, it's an AMMM. So my liquidity is spread out amongst the entire possible range of from 0 to infinity. So it's not very efficient here. There's still purpose for this. I don't have to manage this in any way. I can leave it in there and walk away, um, and not look at it for a month if I want. You're seeing these yields here. I think someone asked where you pop up the Jupiter swapper. It's right down here in the lower left-hand corner. It's just a button. You click it, and there it is. And you can do a swap for anything, any Solana token that you're going to find. Um, you know, you find it, it's there. Do that swap. Okay, so now I'm going to move on to LPing into USDC-USDT pool. I'm actually going to make a withdrawal. Here's the other thing that you're not going to, I want to cover about the dynamic pools really quick. You can't claim the fees separate. Fees are automatically compounded back into the pool. So uh, you have to withdraw to claim those fees. So I'm going to pull out the whole thing here. Go, and that burns the LP token. Boop, 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 bam, done. Okay, so I got my money back. I probably made nothing. We do have farms. I'm not going to get in depth into this, but these are dynamic pools that there is a farm attached to it. So you deposit into the pool, like this Bonk USDC. You'll deposit into that pool, and then you can deposit your LP token into the farm to get liquidity mining rewards. And this is taking its sweet time to load here. Um, there we go. So if I was in the Bonk USDC pool, I could then deposit that into this farm and it would earn me extra Bonk. So it's good times. All right, so now we're going to go into the DLMM. All right. Just waiting on it to load. Yes, you guys should be following along. And we're going to go with USDC, USDT. There we are. Now, as you can see, there's 22 pools. There's currently over 6,000 DLMM pools on Meteora, and there's more being added constantly. So I'm looking here, USDC, USDT. Sometimes people reverse these. I don't know why. But you can see here the TVL on this one is over 3 million, with over that on the 24-hour volume is one bin step. That's pretty small, 1%. You've also got this one here, 5 bin step. This is actually my preference, but we're gonna go into this one for fun. Click. Come on, baby, let's do it. There we go. Come on. All right. So we see our TVL, the allocation of the liquidity in the pool currently, way more USDC than USDT. One bin step, your base fee, your max fee, your protocol fee, your dynamic fee. Again, your links to pool charts and everything. You can see here the trading volume over the last several days. Like here, July 14th, 3.2 million. I come up here July 15th. That was a busy day, so 4.9, and then it dropped down. So that just gives you kind of an idea of what's happening with the thing. You can swap the pool price, whatever. One thing I did want to cover really fast here is some of your settings. A lot of people miss this stuff, and yes, it's even available on the mobile. Priority feed. This is the one that's really important. This is really more important for more volatile, especially your meme coins, your liquidity slippage. You may experience a time where you're trying to deposit and you're just getting failed transaction, and it may be because that price is moving too quick, and so you're not getting it in where you wanted it because of that slippage. You can increase the slippage here to some other amount. 1.5 also often will get you good, but if you need to, you can set that higher. The swap slippage is for swapping within the pool itself. It does not have anything to do with this here. It's got everything to do with, oh, why is this so slow? Boy. This is swapping within the pool itself right here. So if I wanted to do that, I could. Personally, I would rather give swaps to my Meteora brethren than somebody on Orca, but whatever. Let's create a position. I'm going to click on add liquidity. So you can see here, you've got the autofill. If I click max here on USDC, it's going to match that with an appropriate amount in USDC. I can go halves, or I can put in whatever number I want, what have you. Come on. But I can also turn off autofill and I can put in an amount of my choosing. So let's say I wanted to put in all of my USDC and just half of my USDC, USDT. So you can see here what that did. You can see that I've got way more of this than the other. And just adjust because I don't want to spread out my money that wide. I'm going to reduce the number of bins here. And I know guys are asking questions. I'm not able to see them, but our other instructors are helping you out here. And I'm actually going to put a
There was one question about why your preference is the 5 bin step.
Because it doesn't move as much. I will go and set it to like 3 or 4 bins and walk away from it. It doesn't move too much from these points. In fact, I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, it'll look a lot like, that, although I'm covering probably from about right here, 0.995 to 1.005. The price of these two tokens, it doesn't change a whole lot from that. So that's why I have that preference, but you know, you might get more. Lower bin step means capture more volume. Higher bin step means capture less volume. Guys will cover this more in day 2. But hopefully I answered the questions. Transaction completed. So we're in. We're just waiting for the page to refresh. There we go. So here is our position. You can see the value of my position right there and also right here. Your fees earned, claimed. That's not going to show up until you actually claim. Get glad, why is this so slow today?
I don't know. It's like the last couple of days. It seemed like ever since the Sanctum launch, I don't know if it's been congestion or if it's something with the RPC or what's going on. But yeah, it has been a little bit slow.
Let's check now.
Um, there have been a lot of questions about slippage and bin steps and things like that. So maybe I can try to answer a lot of those questions in one shot. So basically, um, as Heavy Metal Cook said, smaller bin steps tend to capture more fees because what happens is with the smaller bin step, it's to move when you move in price, you're going to move across a lot more bins. Like say you're in a one bin step, so you're at one basis point. If the price moves, say 20, 0.25% or 25 basis points, it's going to move across 25 bins in that pool because it's a one bit pool. If you're in a 25 bin step pool, it's probably not even going to move across bins because it's only moved 25 basis points. So you're not going to capture any of that volume. So basically, a very small bin step means that a small change in price, you're going to move across more bins. Whereas if you're in a high bin step, you may not even move across any bins because the bins are too big to capture that small of a change in price. So like, for instance, if you're in a 100 bin step, that's a 1% move. The price of the asset would need to move more than 1% as well as more than whatever the fee is. So if it's a 1%, if it's a 100 bin step pool and it's a 1% fee, that means before you even start seeing any volume, the price is going to have to move 2% because it's got to overcome the 1% fee and then it's got to overcome the 100 bin step. So basically, if you're in a high bin step, it's probably going to be a position that you're going to leave open for a while and you're not going to touch it. Because it's going to take bigger price movements for you to earn fees with a larger bin step. So if you kind of want to chill out, you want to just open an LP position, not look at it for a while, not have to worry about managing it, you're probably going to go into a higher bin step. If you're going to be actively managing it, then you can go into a lower bin step because you're probably going to move out of range more quickly if you're in a very narrow range. So basically, it's kind of up to you. It depends on the assets that you're trading. You kind of have to see, all right, how volatile is this asset? How much is it going to be moving across bins if I'm in a small bin step? If it's going to be moving across those bins a lot, then, and you don't want to be managing it, then you're probably going to want to go into a higher bin step. So hopefully that helps to answer some of the questions that we're getting about bin steps.
Yeah. And so and you see why, why this matters. So with the small bin step, the price isn't going to move to the next bin step until all of one of these tokens sells for the other. So in a large bin step, it's going to sit there till all of it moves. Then it's going to move to the next bin. This tiny bin step, it's going to move to the next bin faster, if you will. So, and you can even see, I like this too, the allocation of what's in each one of these, and it's being slow. Also, this is a more recent feature addition, hovering over the gray. So this is the liquidity, not just my liquidity, but everybody's liquidity across the entire pool. And you can see how much of each token is in that bin and how much in percentage is mine. Um, I could think a better demonstration of this would be if I go to a new position. So you can see here, um, most of the liquidity is right here in this one single bin, right at the price 0.9995. And you can see I have less than 0.01% of the liquidity in that bin. I go one bin over and you can see that I have 0.03% of all liquidity within that bin. Um, and in this particular case, whenever you don't have very much, you're gonna earn less because those fees are spread across everybody that has liquidity within that bin. And you see out here, I have no liquidity here, so it's showing zero. But I love doing this, and sometimes you can use, if you're not sure where to put your liquidity, sometimes you can use this kind of as a guide because you've got people putting money way out here on the edges, but not very much. Most people, they're putting their money right in these ranges right here. So, obviously do what you think is best for you because just because someone else put it there doesn't mean that it was smart. But, you can use that kind of like as a nice little guide. So, um, anyway. We can see that it's earning some fees here. Obviously, we're not running with much in a pool. This is a hard money maker. This is a long-term play right here. This is not memes. It's not going to be fast. But I want to claim my fees for giggles because we don't want to sit here for 3 weeks waiting for this to be worth 10 cents. Um, Hit claim fees, approve. It's probably not even going to register here on fees earned. I will say that sometimes it takes a minute for that fees earned to update. Um, don't panic if you don't see it change right away. Um, if you got it in your wallet, you got it in your wallet. It's there. Um, Fees are not auto compounded in the DLMM. They sit there until you do something with it. I claimed them and they moved into my wallet. What I do with them after that, that's up to me. I can put some or both into this position. I can go and use it to buy something else, whatever I want to do with it. So,
I happened to glance in the chat, and I did see a good question there about why did you use Curve? So I think maybe you can talk a little bit about the strategies, why you might want to use
okay.
different strategies.
Yeah. So in the USDC-USDT pool, the price does not move very far. It generally stays. Let me go back to here so you can see the whole thing. The price stays in this area right here, right? And you can see other people, they've created curves to do this. There is no point for me putting liquidity out here. We're out here on the outside edges. That because the price isn't going to move there. If it does, I have a serious concern about these tokens. But it's going to be here. So I want to maximize my earning potential by focusing my liquidity right here. And I pick a point where I think most of the price action is going to happen right here. So that's where I want the peak of my liquidity to be, right? Let me go back to this. So let's say that I think that the price is mostly going to be right here. Well, this is where I've got most of my liquidity. I'm going to earn the most fees off of this right here. I'll still get something whenever it moves over here, but maybe I believe that most of it's going to be right here or right here or right here versus out here on the edge. Does that answer the question?
Yeah, so that's for the curve strategy.
Yeah, that's for the curve. Um, You know, if I don't think that it's necessarily going to stay right here, I might use a spot that's more uniform. I mean, you click on these, it tells you a little bit. Stables, pairs, where the price doesn't change very often. And of course, your bid ask, that's where it will toss it out there on the edges.
And probably in tomorrow's session, Mario and
Yep.
Yusuf will go into some detail about
Yeah.
bid ask in particular.
Yeah, they're going to get more into the strategies tomorrow on that. So, the next thing we are going to do today is deposit into a more volatile pool. Not that volatile though. Come on. I see in the chat, you don't have, like, if you're wanting to exit your position, you don't have to claim the fees first. Um, that's extra steps. If you withdraw, then it's going to claim your fees all at the same time. I should have demonstrated
If you
that.
if you do 100% withdraw and close, yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that. Actually, let me go back. It's so awesome whenever it's slow. By the way, other features up here, you can always change your RPCs. If you think one's gonna work better than the other. Here I can change my RPC endpoint just like that. I can change my preferred explorer. Like if you click on the transaction, it'll pull that up. Come on. Okay. Oh, it did update. You see, earn 0.0001. Woohoo! I want to withdraw. So here we go. Withdraw. And it's going to default to 100%, but I can type in whatever percentage number I want here. If I want to do 1%, 50%, 2%, whatever you want to do. We're going to do, if you're not doing 100%, you won't be able to close the position. You'll only be able to withdraw. Let's go to 100%. Now this lights up that I can withdraw and close the position. That's going to include the claim. Removing liquidity. I need some jam music I should have done that. Some wait music. Okay, so that completed. And I'm going to show you this. Click transaction. You can see here, this shows me on Solscan. Here's my transaction, all the nitty gritty details, and I'm not getting into all the stuff about Solscan, the basics here. Here's the signature for that. So this is the transaction ID of where I closed that position. This is going to be important tomorrow for day 2. But I could copy that to clipboard and drop that into P&L tracker, whatever. There's that. Also, really quick, I want to show you this with Solscan. Just go here. Do this live. There's my wallet address for Bootcamp. And so I can see here's all transactions that I've made. Some of this can be like confusing, what is all this, right? I'm going to go here to DeFi activities, and it's a little bit easier to read. So you can see here where I added liquidity 15 minutes ago into this pool. And here 2 minutes ago, I removed that liquidity. There's my transaction ID right there. You can even see like the platform and the source that did it. Mint, that's where it created those LP tokens. So I love this. It shows me my swaps. Everything that I did is just so much easier to read. The burn, that's whenever I pulled the liquidity, it burned that token. So um, love Solscan, this function for Solscan. I think it's quite handy. Oh, okay. There we go. All right, so I'm out of that one. I'm gonna go back. Give me that Sol USDC. All right, I'm not gonna take this inverse pool here. Um, I'm gonna choose the 16 bin step 0.3. It's got some good volume over the TVL. This looks like a nice one. Probably also slow because I'm streaming. Well, thanks again to the other instructors for being here and answering questions in chat. You guys are awesome. Okay, Sol USDC. Let's make a deposit here. All right. I'm gonna go halvesies with this. Oh, and I can't because I don't have enough USDC. So I'm just gonna do this. I'm gonna make an imbalanced deposit. So you guys can be following along, doing whatever amounts you want here. I could use these charts to tell me what it's doing. Maybe that'll help me get an idea. I'm not going to get too far in depth of this because this is more of a day two kind of thing. Um, but I'm just looking here at this really fast. It loads. So it looks like it's kind of ranging from about roughly 167 to 170. Come on. You can see my price there, 167. Actually, I got an idea here. I'll put a half. Come on. There we go. So add my liquidity. Come on. Oh, I should have shown this. We talked about it earlier. I'm just waiting. This thing is taking its sweet time. I'm going to cancel that. Right here, Sol needed to create one positions, and you can see this is the price. But I'm going to click here to show me the price info. This is what we were talking about earlier. To create my position for the 16 bins, it's this much, and it's refundable. It's giving me the breakdown. To create bins, I'm not creating any bins. But if I was, that would not be refundable. And this is telling me how much it's going to cost me to Sol to actually do that transaction. So I'm pointing this out because I see this a lot in the Discord. They're like, "Hey, why did this cost me this much money? Why did this cost me like 0.14 Sol to set this up? What the heck?" And it's because they didn't read this. They didn't look at this, and they don't realize that, hey, you're not going to get that money back, or you're going to get only this money back. So that's what this breakdown is. I suggest you read it. Mashing buttons is a great way to lose money. I suggest reading. Even my best friend who's been doing this longer than me, he's a button masher, and he was like, "Hey, what did this cost?" And I'm like, "Well, it's because you didn't read." Okay. And I didn't need to adjust liquidity slippage here because this is not that violent. I'm actually going to put some more in for giggles. Come on. I'm actually going to put it in as a curve. Not curving that much, but it is a curve because let's say that I think that most of the price action is going to happen right around here. This is where I want to stack the most of my money. I'll still get money if it moves out here to the wings, but this is where I think the action is going to happen. So this is where I'm putting in. I'm doing Sol USDC, and I see in a question here. Why is there no fees? It says no profit showing for the dynamic pools. Is difficult to implement the calculation. I don't know the answer why it does not show. Basically, you can do math, just know how much you put in, and then you can look at it and see what its current value is, hopefully up and not down. Um, and you can do math. I don't have an answer for why um, it doesn't show anything else because I'm not part of the team. I'm just a really handsome volunteer with a sweet beard. Um, so here we go. We already got a tiny bit of fees happening. You see swaps happening right here. It's going. Okay. I'm gonna check on something. And it's only, wow, we've only been at this 41 minutes and we allocated 2 whole hours for today. Am I talking too fast?
Oh, you're good. I mean, I think we started a little bit after 10, so
Okay.
yeah, I think you've been at it
All
about
right.
a little over an hour, a little over an hour and 15 minutes maybe.
My counter says 42 minutes.
Ah,
But actually, well, no. No, yeah, it has been okay.
yeah,
No,
it's
you're
been a
right.
little longer than that.
You're right. It is longer. Well, we still have time, so
Yeah.
I am going to go with, let's see, you guys still see my Chrome browser, right?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so while that's cooking and hopefully making some money, I've got a few things here pulled up. Let's see. Um, Bird Eye. We already talked about Solscan, RugCheck. They'll get more into this a day two, but this is a super helpful thing if you're dealing with unknown tokens, new tokens, memes. Please, for the love of God, use your RugCheck. And the team has actually put in a new feature. Suggested this a while back. They put it in, and it's like crazy awesome. If I can get this to load, I'll show you. So here we go, Goldie. That works for me. Because I can see the little indicator here, the little caution sign. Yep, Goldie. I know absolutely nothing about this token, so this is perfect example. I'm gonna go in here and you can see here, like warning, unknown token, and they put the link to RugCheck right there. And this only shows up on unknown tokens. So that's going to take me straight to the RugCheck for it. Warning, copycat token. So it's using a verified token symbol. Well, that's kind of sus. See the markets for it. There's one out on Fluxbeam, there's the Meteora, and there's the Yucky Radium one. So this is where, this is part of the do your own research. Do your own research. Just because a pool exists does not mean that it's a good, safe token, because anybody can create a pool. It could be a rug, it could be faking another one. There's a lot of things I've seen. Valid token launches, like when IO launched, there was almost immediately a fake IO token put out there, pool created, and if you deposited in there, that token was locked, and you put it in, you were never going to get it back out. Couldn't sell it. So, yeah. Sorry, guys. I see you guys asking, can I hook up guitar? I'm a bass guitarist. I don't have it stringed right. I don't have the amp hooked up. You're going to be sad. I'm not that good.
It's just there for show.
Well, for today it is. It's there for show. I mean, I can, I could flex for you guys, so maybe that'll make you feel better. But so anyway, moving on. Let's see. Gecko Terminal. This one is not. I'm not a huge fan of this one, nor Deck Screener, but to each their own. You can see down here there was a lot of volume on. This is a Jito Sol USDC pool or chart. A lot of volume way back here on yesterday. Kind of died off and then it picked up a little bit. Whatever. Bird Eye. Let's see what's going on here. Find some pools for this. Okay. So it's cool here on Bird Eye. Let me close this and refresh the page. Oh, there we go. I didn't need to refresh. A ghost moving behind you. It's actually my ceiling fan mysteriously turned on. And it's probably just shadows from that. So anyway, here on Bird Eye, we can see this is all markets. I'm going to pick the Meteor. I love that you can choose specific pools, although if you click on that link from the pool itself, it's going to bring you specifically to this. These straight lines are periods when no trades were happening. but you can always like see the entire market or other markets here. You see sells, buys, which platform, and since this is all that same pool, I'm just going to switch over here for giggles. So here we can see like where trading is happening. Like that swap happened on Orca, that one on Meteora, so on and so forth. You can see where liquidity providers, this particular person 5 minutes ago, whoever this is, they removed their liquidity from the Meteora pool. So you see the adds and removes there.
The other nice thing I like about it is it shows the platform. So if you go back to it,
Yeah.
you can see if the swaps took place
Yeah.
directly on whether it went through Jupiter, the aggregator, or if it went directly through the platform. So like you
Right.
can see there's an Orca swap down at the bottom.
Yeah.
And then when you see the ones that are question
Well,
marks,
that's
those are
actually a remove.
oh, okay, yeah, that's removed. But if a swap had happened directly through there, and then the question marks are usually ARB contracts, custom ARB contracts, or custom ARB transactions that people are creating.
Yeah. Dex tools. This is my particular favorite. Part of my reasons for liking Dex tools is because it's got this My Positions tab. I mean, I'm not connected, so it won't show it, but you can actually, like, whenever, say, you do a buy or a sell for a token, you can see that transaction, mark it, put it in your positions, and it'll actually help you track your P&L right here. It can tell you, okay, you bought it for this price. Here's the current value. Here's how much you bought. Here's where you'll, like, if you sold right now, you have this much profit or this much loss. Um, I I love this. Something that they recently added uh, was the ability to see the additions and removals from liquidity pools. Um, I don't know if we're gonna see. Yeah, this was the wrong one for that. Let's see whatever this one is. Oh, yeah. So we can see here someone added 24,000 plus worth of whatever this token is to this particular pool out here on Radium. So just Dex, it's to each their own. Tools out there. Of course, you guys probably have all heard about Alex's tool. The guys are going to talk about that more later, but lots of different things out here. Fees for your whole wallet, P&Ls for specific transactions. You can put in something about a particular token and find pools for it, and so on and forth. There's more stuff about finding good plays. I'm gonna let the guys tomorrow talk about that. Um, Sonar Watch. Now this is a really cool tool here. I'm gonna copy. I'm gonna put my wallet address in here. Prove I'm a human. You can see this shows me everything. So here's what's sitting in my wallet right here. And here's what I've got out here on Meteora. So you can see that I'm in this one pool, Sol USDC pool. It shows the current balance of both tokens, its overall value, and then like these are my pending fees right here. So I've got almost 2 cents in USDC and 0.00001 worth of Sol sitting out there is worth about 2 cents total. But this is a really cool tool that you can use to see all your positions. In fact, I put in a wallet that I had in this yesterday and looked at it, and I found I had liquidity sitting out on Radium that's been there for months. Like before I quit Radium, I guess I forgot to withdraw, and it's just been sitting out there forever. It was like like $600. Like, fucking sweet, dude. So this is a great way. It'll show you all kinds of things. If you've got stuff in Sanctum, it'll show you that. I had money in the dead governance. It showed that. So this is a great way to see all of your positions and your wallet, everything that's out there. I mean, there's even an airdrop checker. It's probably not worth anything here, but this is a brand new wallet. But I love Sonar Watch, and I just so anyway, this is how it's doing. Let me switch back to here.
So there was a question about bins and what bins are in the chat, and so maybe we can talk about that in a little bit more detail. Um, Basically, what happens is the liquidity is placed into discrete bins. So actually, you know what? If you can go into the UI,
Okay.
Heavy Metal Cook,
Yeah, hang on. Do.
and there's a really nice new feature that it'll actually show you exactly how much liquidity there is in each individual bin.
Oh, yeah, I touched on that briefly.
Yeah. So you can see right there, he's highlighting that bin, and that bin, that the price of that bin is 170.10, and then there's 99 SOL in that bin. And then so he's got 0.09% or 9 bips of the SOL within that bin. So right now you can see the current price is 169 even, right? And that's the current bin. So that bin has 17,476 USDC in that bin. So if the price moves up, then the price is going to move to the bin to the right, right? And then if Heavy Metal Cook, if you, yeah, so you can see the price of that bin is 169.28. And then you can see the amount of liquidity that's in that bin. So as the price continues to move up, it's going to move across bins, and it's going to be hitting different liquidity. So when people are performing swaps, they're happening through the current bin. Now, if somebody were to, can you go back to the current bin? So if somebody were to swap or to sell or to buy 17, I guess sell more than 17,000. No, I guess buy. If they were to buy more than 17,476, say they bought 30,000 worth of SOL, what would happen is that's going to then drive up the price. So they're going to take that 17,000 of liquidity out of that bin, and then they're going to take out, whatever amount of liquidity from the next bin so that they get $30,000 or 30,000 USDC, I should say, worth of SOL. And then the price would move to
price
next.
impact.
Yeah, that's the price impact. Exactly right. So if a swap happens that's less than 17,000, somebody buys less than 17,000, it'll all happen within that same 169 USDC bin, and the price won't change.
Yeah. So someone asked, what does BIN stand for? It's not an acronym. It's a bin,
Yeah.
like a bin. There's tokens in here. It's holding it. It's a container.
Yeah, it's just a container.
Yeah, container. So what else? Anybody got any other questions? We still have some time. Bin Chow.
I guess someone I saw earlier in the chat was asking, and it's a good question. It's like, how do I know how much I'm going to earn in fees? And really, it's a very difficult question to answer because it's really hard to tell, right? Because you don't know what's going to happen to the price movement. You don't know what's going to happen to the volume. So everything is really kind of a guesstimate. And, you can look at past performance, but, as they always say, past performance is not an indicator of future performance, right? So But basically, at a high level, if you're in a high volume pool, a pool that's, that's attracting a lot of volume, there's a lot of swaps happening within that pool, you're going to generate more fees. If you're in a pool that has no volume, you're going to get no fees. So generally speaking, that's it. It's really hard to predict or estimate how much you're going to earn. But it really takes a lot of time. It takes a lot of practice. It takes a lot of LPing before you really start to get a good feel for it and start to get a good idea of what you're going to earn in fees. So, I definitely encourage you guys to start small, but really pay attention to what's happening as the
Yeah.
price changes and as you start to earn fees. Watch what happens with impermanent loss, right? Look and see what happens to the total value of your assets as the price is moving, and you'll really start to get a better feel for how it all works.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, I mean, I asked Santa for a crystal ball. He didn't give it to me. You can ask up, listen to voices in your head, but other than that, it's just educated guesses. Um, I see a question here. Is priority given to the first person to enter a bin? No. The fees get shared equally across whoever has liquidity of when it was entered. You get when you put it in, doesn't matter. You could have had liquidity in a bin for 6 months, and then you got a whale come and drop 50 grand on that same bin. He's gonna get his cut just the same as you. So that doesn't matter. There's no time on here. Someone did ask about alert notifications. That was something that I wanted to show earlier. So up here, you have the notification bell, and we would put in, let's see, let me grab my wallet address here. This is a dialect. And no, I'm not using Ledger here. Sign my wallet. Notifications. All right, so now I set up my notifications. This is to alert me anytime that a DLMM position is out of range. Okay, so here I'm going to enable it in the app. It'll notify me within the app. I can also enter my Telegram if I'm using Telegram, my username, or I can have it send me an email. So turn on those alerts. It's quite handy. I think sometimes it's annoying, but it's a handy way to be notified. If you don't like that, you can use something else, like say Dex Tools. You can have that set up, price alerts, to let you know when a price moves to a certain price, like up or down. You can set up multiple ones, but what I'm promoting right now is this, the little notification there. So that's what that is. We still got some time. Any other questions? Let me see here. We're not going to get into about how to maximize fees and all that today. That's kind of day two. Yusef and Mario, your instructors for tomorrow, will get into that more. What happens if it goes out of range? Great question. The short answer is nothing. Nothing happens. You stop earning fees, and that's it. You are now in what's called impermanent loss. Your liquidity is still there. Whatever it is, it's sold, so if this went down, then, I've got all USDC or Sol, one or the other. You stop earning, and your choices are: you can pull it out, make your impermanent loss permanent. You can wait for it to retract, come back into range, You can rebalance, and that's basically you're withdrawing and moving your money down there. I use that with caution because again, you're turning impermanent loss into permanent loss. Now, if you've overcome your losses with the fees, that's the goal. That's what you're after. Just again, use caution. It's really easy to come in and chase that price. You just have to be careful, make sure that you're not losing every single time you do that, because you can either lose really quick or really, really slowly. Um, so
And it's all kind of a balance, right?
yeah,
Because if you go really, really wide, you're going to experience less impermanent loss, but by the same token, you're not going to get a lot of fees either because you're spreading that liquidity really, really wide. So, but if you go really narrow, then you can earn more fees, but then the likelihood of impermanent loss is higher, right? So it's likely that you're gonna hit one edge or the other and end up out of range. So again, it's all part of learning the game, right? Learning how the price movement works, and you'll get better at it over time, and it takes a lot of practice.
indeed it does. Um, so I see there's a lot of questions about strategies, whatever. Again, that's going to be covered tomorrow. So make sure you show up tomorrow to learn from that. Do you get points even if you're out of range? Yes. You will obviously you're not getting any points on fees earned because you're not earning fees, but having that liquidity in the pool, even if it's out of range, you're still gonna get that 1 point per one USDC in value. And it doesn't matter if you're using USDC or not. It's the USDC value. So for example, right here, I've got $181 worth of tokens in this pool. So that means I'm getting 181 points for every 24 hours. Um, yeah, tomorrow is going to be lit, as the kids would say. Yeah, there we
Oh,
go. The form.
maybe go back to the deck real quick and show the Discord, the link to the
Oh
Discord
yeah, yeah,
server.
yeah, yeah. Good idea. Share deck. Is that what you wanted? To the
No, no. So I think somewhere towards the end, maybe I don't know if it was. I think it might be after those demo slides. There's a slide that shows the link to the Discord.
Oh, there we go.
There it is. There it is. Yeah. So Discord server is a great place to hang out. If you guys aren't on Discord, highly recommend you get onto Discord. And there's a lot of great chat that goes on there. A lot of knowledgeable folks. Heavy Metal Cook hangs out there. I hang out there. Mario, Ryan, Hugo, Yusuf. We all hang out in the Discord server there to help you guys answer questions. Discuss strategy. So it's a great place to be. So if you guys aren't in there, highly recommend you join.
Yep. All right. Thanks, guys. I think that's enough. I see everybody saying, let's go. We're 5 minutes to the end. So thank you again, everybody, for joining me, bearing with me. It was my first time running this class. Hopefully, they'll let me do this again someday. Thank you, and we'll be on tomorrow. Looking forward to hearing from Yusef and Mario. So thank you, everybody. Have a good one.
Thanks, everybody.